This is Officer Espiritu Santo in Miramar PD?
Yes.
What's going on?
My son has been missing since Sunday, and I put out a missing report.
Dwight's reported missing on October 18th, 2021. That is when a missing adult case starts. And he's only been missing, as far as they know, for a couple of hours.
A teenager goes missing, and it is a race against time to find him.
You want to protect your boyfriend?
I do, but I don't want to go to jail, so.
But as investigators are closing in on the truth of what happened here, they come upon a devastating scene.
There's a lot of blood over there. There's blood everywhere.
The two girls, they were just standing there, but they weren't moving much. And then the guy was moving around the fire, just throwing more gasoline.
Do you know how much true crime I watch? You can't get away with nothing. Jesus, there's cameras everywhere.
Miramar, Florida. It's a sleepy suburb of Miami, lies between the Everglades and the Atlantic coast.
This is more of an immigrant community where people who have come to the United States for a better life raise their children and are sending their children to the local high school hoping that they will make it to college and get better jobs. And the American dream lives in Miramar, for lack of a better term.
But that dream of a better life for Magdalene Emile turns into every parent's worst nightmare. Her 18-year-old son, Dwight DJ Grant, is missing. And every second that he is not standing there with her feels like an eternity.
Okay, I'm on my way to the office right now, okay? Okay, ma'am.
Officers immediately ask friends and neighbors about Dwight Grant to find out where he might have gone.
He's a good kid.
He doesn't disappear. He's a good kid. He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. If he goes out, he has a plan. He goes out with his friends. He calls literally all of us all the time to let us know, like, what's up, how you are.
Okay. All right.
In the morning, at night, make sure I'm okay.
Dwight Grant lived in Miramar with his mom, Magdalene Emile, and he split time with his dad, Dwight Grant Sr.
Dwight Grant is a high school student. He's a great student. And there's no reason why he would just suddenly up and vanish.
That's a kid?
Yes, she's been putting flyers. And the mother told me that she's been looking for him for Sunday. She went to hospitals too, and he's not there.
Miss Emile takes it into her own hands and starts trying to do everything she can to figure out where her son is.
Because he was 18, there was no kind of Amber Alert, but he was reported missing as an adult, and his family began printing up flyers with his picture on it and doing the hard work of trying to discover what had become of him.
They go out searching far and wide for him, but they can't find him anywhere.
Now, before police became involved, Dwight's mother is essentially investigating her own son's disappearance, and she discovers something that is chilling.
I just looked at the camera for the office, and I saw two people hurting my son.
Miss Emile, she was able to access, with staff from the community, the video footage that covered the outside area that was just to the east of her apartment and the stairwell. She described seeing two individuals, she thought they were men, fighting with her son.
I cannot even begin to fathom the pain that the mother felt at that moment where she visually bore witness to this recording of her son being attacked. There's a certain amount of hopelessness that sets in, but there's also something else that's very key here that occurs with families. There's a certain level of anger.
Have you ever seen her son around?
No, they're good people. Like, you only see the bad ones, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The tenants that give you trouble are the ones that you know.
That you know, okay.
So these are good people that don't bother anybody. So this is where they live.
After reviewing the surveillance footage, a Miramar police officer does a foot search for any sign of Dwight.
Officer Damaso Espiritu Santo goes to the location. They go to this stairwell.
There's a lot of blood over there.
Okay.
There's blood everywhere.
There's blood that's been cleaned up but poorly. There's broken bushes. There are questions as to what's happened at this location.
Oh my goodness. It looks like a footprint.
The officers start establishing a crime scene.
The one piece that's missing is still this child. The child is not there. The child is somewhere else. This is initially going to be your primary scene.
Hold on. You want me to get on and call for rescue?
Hey, okay, we're gonna have to make sure.
Oh my God.
They start putting up the crime scene tape, and they aren't expecting to see the body, and they almost stumble across it because it was hidden behind some bushes just steps away from Dwight's mother's front door.
This almost looks like a classic, what we refer to as a dumping. When they actually lifted his sweater, they noticed that he had what appeared to be a stab wound to his chest, and further examination revealed that he had even a larger injury to his neck that was consistent with an edged weapon as well.
The three main injuries, there are 3 stab wounds. There's one to the back right of the neck, one to the torso, and one to the abdomen.
While officers are securing this crime scene, members of Dwight's family are coming out of the apartment to see what's going on.
Can you go back inside for me, please? Please. Just give us a few minutes and we'll come in and talk to you. Just go back inside. Can you go back inside, please? Don't. Just do as I ask, please. In a few minutes, an officer will come talk to you. Go back inside.
As a mother myself, I found it torturous to watch and listen to the body cam footage of DJ's mother, not finding out that he was deceased, but that a body has been found. It was so close to the apartment complex that she must have known in that moment what was awaiting her.
Can you guys just stay inside for me, please? Just let us do the investigation.
The police, I think, are fairly short with her because all they know here is that they have a crime scene. Their allegiance is to the decedent here. They want justice for him. You need to be in the moment. That is an undermanned scene. You need to get the rest of the police department there. You need to cut everything off. You need to get up the tape. You need to start a crime scene log.
This is a crime scene now, so we need you to go back inside, okay?
It's important that you confirm the ID, though, because who's to say it couldn't be somebody else? And so for the investigators, they have to make sure that this body is, in fact, DJ.
There's no identification of the body at that point. They have a strong suspicion that it's Dwight Grant. It seems and appears to look like him, but it's not until the medical examiner's office responds and they take a photo of the body and they show it to Dwight Grant Sr., who's able to positively identify that as his son.
Didn't I see him yesterday talking to No, I see blood here when I came home. Oh my God.
Can you guys go back in your apartments for me, please?
The medical examiner determined multiple sharp force and blunt force injuries as the cause of death and the manner as homicide.
It was absolutely apparent that DJ had bled out from those wounds. Those wounds were the cause of death. This was a homicide.
There's also some blunt force injuries that are consistent that Dwight was fighting for his life.
It makes no sense. Dwight DJ Grant was kind, smart. He was described as an old soul. Who could have wanted to kill him?
Good morning, Miramar. Dante Felix here, and I'll be introducing you to the very wonders of Miramar High. All the things that make it enticing, interesting, and all around just a fun place to be around.
Dwight was a sweet, funny young kid. He had just turned 18 in September of 2021. He enjoyed Roblox video games. He loved anything to do with computers. Everybody that met Dwight was changed for the positive by him. He was described as kind, funny, always nice to be around. He never caused trouble.
Come when you get lost, baby.
Dwight's body provides investigators with some clues. The stab wounds make one thing very clear. This was personal.
Let's just talk about beating in and of itself, particularly when you're talking about striking somebody over and over and over and over again. That's flesh-on-flesh contact, and that's the most intimate that it can possibly be. You couple that with what I believe is probably the most violent way to die as far as a homicide goes, and that is sharp force injuries, because it is incumbent upon the person that's wielding the blade to drive this blade into the body. What investigators have to do now is go back and talk to anybody within Dwight's intimate circle. The big question has to be asked, who hates Dwight this much?
Nobody noticed all that blood under the stairs?
How it is right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is important.
So at this point, law enforcement is trying to recover and preserve any evidence that is there. DNA, fingerprints, shoe prints, and find any witnesses that might have any information. We are now 2 days post the incident occurring, so law enforcement has to make sure they are taking all steps as quickly as possible to preserve any digital evidence, any other video or surveillance.
We know one angle of the attack on Dwight already exists, but investigators have to gather all of the surveillance footage from the apartment complex from the day that Dwight was murdered.
The surveillance footage shows, first, a female not wearing any sort of mask or anything to disguise herself, and she has two very distinct blonde locks, who then meets with Dwight and goes into the staircase just outside of his apartment. Then there's also two other individuals that are masked, covered from head to toe, that are waiting in the stairwell. Those individuals actually pulled Dwight back into the stairwell when he almost ran and got away. Then you see those two individuals coming in and out of the stairwell for the next about 20 to 30 minutes, and you see the blonde individual acting as a lookout. And then eventually, the surveillance footage shows Dwight's body being carried out, dumped over the railing, and then dragged out of camera view.
At this point in time, the police understand that not only do they have a spot of violence, they've got 3 unknown potential perpetrators, all dressed in black, that have kind of vanished into the ether. The first thread that you want to pull in the investigation is, who is this mystery woman? Because when Dwight enters the stairwell, he's literally giving this individual a piggyback ride. It infers intimacy, doesn't it? So upon further examination, this young lady has a blonde streak in her otherwise very dark black hair, and that kind of makes her stand out.
Dwight's mother tells investigators everything she knows, and that includes one detail from the surveillance footage that she picked up on.
I saw 2 people hurting my son, and there's a girl that went to his school. She was the last person who saw him, and she was there too.
Miss Emile went on her cell phone carrier because Dwight's phone was missing, and so she starts looking at every phone number that has contacted him right before he goes missing. From that, she gets a hold of Christie Parisien, and she actually speaks to her and finds out that that's the last person that saw Dwight. Christie was a good student. She was in an Imperial Fashion Club. Once Christie is identified, law enforcement first goes and makes contact with her to see what they can find out, what she knew, if she knew the 2 individuals that are on scene.
While detectives interview Christie Parisien at the police station, there's another team of detectives that then go to speak with Christie's mom.
Miramar Police Department.
Yes.
How you doing, ma'am?
I'm waiting for my sister to go over there. What happened?
Do you mind talking to us? I have Detective Woods here.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
When the police show up at Christie's home, You can tell that she doesn't know what's going on, and she's trying literally to leave the apartment to go to the police station.
What happened?
I just need to speak to you over here for a second.
Oh, Lord.
So, right now there's an investigation, and I guess it's your daughter?
Yeah, that's my daughter.
Your daughter, her name came up. So, what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to keep you out of the house for now.
Me?
Yes, ma'am. Nothing has to do with you personally, but we have to keep everybody out of the apartment.
There's nobody else inside right now?
No.
Okay. So we have detectives that are going to get a search warrant. Okay.
They're waiting for a warrant because they know that Christie's involved at this point in time. Now, they do allow her to retrieve her phone.
Yeah, they're like, I'm calling 440.
What did she tell you?
Let me tell you.
Does she have a voicemail?
Yeah, and then they leave a number to call.
I'm on the Thursday who got murdered. We need to take him to the police station, make my full statement. I'll be back home, and I will have my phone because they took my phone. So.
Christie wants to let her mother know where she is and what's going on. So she leaves a very flippant message to her mother saying she's going to be at the police station.
There is something that is so chillingly nonchalant about the way that she states what is occurring to her. The tone of her voice is just shocking. You would think that a homicide occurring is a salient event in a young adult's life, and for her, it was a Tuesday.
Now at the Miramar Police Department, investigators are questioning 17-year-old Christie Parisien about the day that Dwight Grant was murdered. And one thing to keep in mind is she refers to him by his nickname, Dante.
If you can just, I guess, fill me in so I know.
So basically, I went over there to Dante's house. I met two guys, you know how the boys call girls, Ayo, Miramar. I was like, hello, hi. He asked me for my name, and it's Christie, and they said their name was Faithful and Ryan, blah, blah, blah.
So you met these two guys as you were walking from your house to Dwight's house?
They were like, Ayo, mom. I'm like, who the is calling my name? I'm a mom, but like, I'm a boyfriend, please, no, she doesn't stop.
Who's your boyfriend? Andre. Oh, okay.
The name Andre Clemens comes up for the very first time. Police knew at that moment that that's somebody that they needed to speak with.
Christie describes Andre Clements as her boyfriend that she's trying to make jealous. Andre Clements was one of the drum majors at the Miramar High band. He played the trombone. He was described as a gifted musician. He had a lot of friends, was very popular, had a lot of girlfriends as well.
You had already made up your mind that you were going to cheat on Andre.
You were meeting with Dwight to like hook up with him, or?
I hooked up and cheat on my boyfriend because I found out he cheated on me.
Who did he cheat on you with? Somebody from school?
I really do hope not.
Oh, you don't even know who he cheated?
I found out he was cheating on someone because I read his messages. I was being his stupid girlfriend and I got my feelings hurt. Please.
Look, we've both been there.
I'm gonna sound like a really pissed off girlfriend right now, don't mind me.
That's fine, don't worry about it.
Who the is this?
Christie says that she's going over to see Dwight because she's upset at her boyfriend, Andre Clements, who has cheated on her, and so she is going to cheat on him to get back at Andre.
Could you like describe them?
They were wearing black masks and they were wearing hoodies.
Christie Parisien tells detectives that she met these two African-American men as she was walking over to Dwight's house.
There was two guys. Were they tall,
they
short?
were deep voices, so I would say around 18, 19 around the boys, puberty guys.
Nobody you recognize like from school? Okay. Ever seen them before?
No. They came downstairs and they said, you my girl, blah, blah, blah. Who the is you?
They said that to Dwight? And who were they saying it's their girl?
They just said words. I didn't really hear them.
So then they were arguing, and then what happened?
They were arguing, said my girl, blah, blah, blah. He tried to run away, and then they grabbed him. They started to beat his ass, started to talk. At that point, my back was just turned completely away because I did not want to hear anything, I did not want to see anything, did not want to be a complete witness to the entire thing.
Christie says that they start getting into a fight with Dwight and that she just turns around and doesn't look.
What were you doing the whole like 15, 20 minutes?
Literally standing right there with my back turned and not wanting to see anything that's going on.
But you could hear
I could hear the movements, I could hear the pow, 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 and I was like, no. I turned back once in a while and I said, stop, they didn't stop, told me to shut up.
Christie then goes on to reveal something even more puzzling to investigators.
I gave him the knife.
What knife?
It was a knife.
There was, oh, come on, girl, why are you holding back on me?
It was a knife.
But why didn't you tell us that before?
Because I was screaming. I'm sorry.
So, they beat up Dante, they handed you the knife, you went to the corner, then they threw him over the railing, then you handed them the knife.
To call that an unbelievable statement is not to do it justice. You would have to believe that she's making out with somebody, they're attacked by people in all black, he's stabbed, he's bleeding, he's on the ground, but instead of calling for help, she said, here's your knife. It defies all comprehension that you would hand somebody who has just murdered somebody you were making out with, oh, here's your knife.
That's a big tell here for the investigators. They know that she's not fleeing, even though I think any rational person that had witnessed the level of violence that would have been witnessed on that stairwell would have tried to create as much distance between themselves and these perpetrators as possible. That ain't what happened in this case.
Christie, come on, man. Stop lying. Stop lying. That's it. Like honestly, like you're going around in circles and you're saying one thing and saying another, and then you keep going back and forth.
With you, I'm here like to kind of like help you and all that, but you sound like my son when he's telling me your story.
She makes up these two individuals, and she says she thinks they live at Building B in the same apartment complex that she lived in. And what Ms. Parisien didn't know is Detective Interian was a participant in the Officer Next Door program. So at the time of this incident, Detective Interian lived in Building B, and so he knew there were no such individuals that fit that description that lived in his building.
When pressed further by the detectives, Christie says that after this incident with the two hooded figures, she meets up with two friends that she just happened to run into, and they walk out of the apartment complex together.
On the way back, you came with Andre and Jaslyn, and you guys went to your apartment first, or you guys went to Jaslyn's?
Jaslyn's apartment first, and then we got something, and then we went outside, and they wanted to burn all the clothes, so they burned all the clothes by the lake.
Jaslyn Smith comes up because Christie Parisien gives her name as well. So Jaslyn's a little bit younger than Andre and Christie. She's 16 at the time. Jaslyn is also in the marching band at Miramar. She is close with Andre. She sees him as a brother, a mentor, someone that she can learn from.
Burned old clothes by the lake. Why did they, what clothes did they burn?
Like baby clothes.
Baby clothes? Why would they burn it?
They're like, we're trying to make you feel better, you look sad, but there's no marshmallows, so.
It continues on with, she was depressed about this murder, and the other two decided to give her a bonfire to cheer her up.
At this point, law enforcement is already aware that Christie, Andre Clements, and Jaslyn Smith were together the evening of the homicide, because there's the report that was called into security about a bonfire, where they were lighting things on fire behind Jaslyn Smith's apartment.
The two girls, they were just standing there, but they weren't moving much. The chubby girl, she was just like moving back and forth, but like standing in the same spot, but moving a little bit. And then the guy was moving around the fire, just throwing more gasoline.
Did you recognize any of them?
No, because it was pretty far, but seeing them on the news, their faces, that's when I could
you remember
yes.
that they were the same ones
yes.
that you saw that night?
Yes.
Okay.
So detectives question Christie further about this bonfire.
Whose clothes did they,
It was their clothes.
Andre's and Jaslyn's? Okay. So Andre, did he have the clothes with him?
No.
It was his own clothes, the clothes he was wearing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he took off it, what did he put on? Was he just naked then? Or?
No, he had a separate pair.
He had a separate pair of clothes? Okay, so he took off his clothes and he burned it by the lake?
Yeah, they said something about them fighting somewhere, like having a rough housing.
Christie Parisien is confronted with some of the surveillance footage, and she identifies herself in that footage. However, she still denies that the individuals that are pictured alongside of her are Andre Clements and Jaslyn Smith. She goes so far in the interview as to say things like, I asked Andre and Jaslyn if they had anything to do with it, and she says they had nothing.
Investigators end the interview, but before Christie leaves, they ask if they can take a look at her phone.
Christie gives them her passcode to her phone and allows law enforcement to do a forensic download of all the data on her phone.
It's borne out that she's not necessarily as innocent as she may have let on, because they start to search her text messages, and they find a text message that she received from her boyfriend, Andre, that said, murder is going to happen soon.
Now, real quick, here's the truth. We can bring you an in-depth story like this because of the support that we get from our partners. And the great news is our sponsor here, Upside, is amazing. Why do I say that? Upside gets you cash back. Yes, extra cash back on everyday purchases like gas, groceries, takeout. Here's what you do. You download Upside for free. You claim an offer at one of their 100,000 plus locations. You pay like normal with your card. You verify the purchase, and just like that, money back. So say I need to get gas or I want takeout one night. I'll search for Upside offers first. And after I spend, money appears in my app that I can then transfer right into my bank account. And Upside's frequent users, they earn an average of $254 back a year. So to start getting your cash back, click the link in the description or scan the QR code, and make sure to use promo code PRIMECRIME because you'll get an extra 25 cents bonus on every gallon on your first tank of gas. Police also get this tip from a concerned citizen about this suspicious text chain among teenagers at Miramar High School.
I've seen on the news that they found a body over by Sherman Circle, and they keep showing the picture of the kid that goes to Miramar High, saying they can't guarantee that it's him, basically. But on my phone, all the texts are coming through that there's people from school there and they know it's him.
Okay. Did you speak to a detective or anything like that?
No, I haven't spoken to anybody. I just came here because told me that she had got these texts from this girl yesterday. She said it was the most traumatizing day of her life when she seen him yesterday, which would have been Sunday. I'm not saying she did anything, but I'm not saying I can't come here and not show you either, because she keeps saying how many people she's killed and she's in a gang.
Now, the big question for investigators, are these text messages just, loose talk among teenagers, or are they connected to the murder of Dwight Grant?
There's a lot of text messages between Andre and Christie that kind of make you raise your eyebrows. For example, they talk about Bonnie and Clyde syndrome, someone who is romantically interested in someone who commits murder. They talk about stabbing people to death weeks before this homicide occurs. At one point, Christie writes a comment about what color she's going to get for a pedicure so that it will be red to match the blood when they stab someone to death.
Now, while the texts speak to premeditation, investigators still don't know exactly what happened on the day that Dwight was murdered. So they turn their attention to 16-year-old Jaslyn Smith, the friend that was with Christie and Andre at the bonfire where they burned their clothes.
When law enforcement goes out and makes contact with Jaslyn Smith, she's home, she's with both of her parents, and she speaks to law enforcement on her front porch with her mother. Jaslyn's father is bedridden and unable to leave the apartment.
Andre told me that somebody had pissed him off, or somebody was messing with somebody else's girl or something. It had to do with some type of chick. And that he was upset and that he needed to back up for a fight. He told me it was just a fight.
Eventually it starts coming out that Andre had an ex-girlfriend, and that this ex-girlfriend had somehow hooked up with DJ, and that Andre needed to do something to DJ about it.
He told me to dress up in all black and follow him.
Andre?
Yes.
Okay.
I wore a blue rag and everything. And we walked up the stairwell, and Chrissy was there. Chrissy had seduced him, from what I know. And Andre told me to follow him down the stairs, stay here and just look intimidating, just scare him. And then we're rushing down the stairs because he got scared and Andre said grab him. And we were both chugging him into the corner of the stairway. We pushed him in and we were fighting.
Jaslyn Smith tells law enforcement She doesn't think that any murder is going to happen. Jaslyn is told that they are going to have a complete change of clothes and then be prepared to get rid of all of the clothes that they used and burn them after.
Andre was talking to him and I was just standing. He said this was a fight and then he pulled out. There was a weapon. I was told to hold it.
Jaslyn thinks that any weapons that are brought are just there for intimidation. She doesn't think anyone is actually going to get hurt.
Andre took the weapon and they were tussling and he told me to hold down his legs. And he hurt him.
I'm sorry?
He hurt him. He hurt him very badly. And then he told me to help him move him.
Jaslyn.
Now, Jaslyn's mom is clearly upset by what she's hearing, but she decides to come back and give her daughter some motherly advice.
Do you know how much true crime I watch? You can't get away with nothing. There's cameras everywhere.
She's not wrong, because in this particular case, they actually have videography of her daughter along with this perpetrator, Andre, and along with Christie emerging from that stairwell on videotape. They can place them there at that specific location when Dwight's life was taken.
This is some stupid over some girl seducing some boy.
What adds even more to the senselessness of all of this is that all of this violence appears to be over Andre's ex-girlfriend, not even over his current girlfriend, Christie Parisien.
Yes. But would this stop?
No. I need for you to keep talking.
It stopped and it was over and everything stopped. I was trying to just pretend and forget that it didn't happen. I already knew that if something like this was going to happen, I already knew the cops were going to show up sooner or later. And I already started preparing myself for the worst, Ma.
What do you mean by preparing yourself for the worst?
If they send me away, Ma. Because by everything I've already said, I'm an accomplice. And I know this. And I'm sorry.
I can't.
Jaslyn Smith is then interviewed by detectives in the back of the squad car with her mother present.
I'd like for you to kind of tell me step by step on how everything occurred.
We had walked up the stairs. We had walked through the front gates of the complex. Immediately when we got in there, we had walked over to where the stairwell was while he was telling me to move this way to avoid a camera and to avoid being seen. And then he got a signal from Chrissy to walk downstairs. We walked downstairs and he had a weapon with him. He told me to hold the weapon. He had approached the boy and Chrissy had moved back and walked down the stairs.
And who was the first one to say something to the boy? Andre. And do you remember exactly what it was that he said?
No, but I do remember him saying, I'm pretty sure you know why I'm here and exactly who I am. So we're not gonna sit here and pretend that you don't know any reason why I would be here or who I am.
Okay. What did the boy say? Did he back down?
He said, you're Andre, voice, and then Andre had also taken off his mask. The boy tried to make a run for it. I ran and I helped Andre to tackle him and put him onto the ground. We're just holding him down. I'm telling him to calm down, we just want to talk. Had him into a corner. Chrissy came back down with the weapon and gave it back to me, and I'm just standing there, holding it, using it as a form of intimidation. Andre is talking to him, saying everything he has to get off of his chest, and saying how mad he is. And then he proceeds to say, you know what I have to do, right? That I have to hurt you. Like, I have to get you back for what you did. And the boy is like, you don't have to do this. I won't bother you. I won't say nothing. I haven't seen you guys. I won't say anything. Nothing.
DJ, for all intents and purposes, pleads for his life, says you don't need to do this. There's an out there. This is classic premeditation because they went there with the instruments to commit the crime, and then there was a pause before committing the crime.
He was just standing there and he was explaining why he was mad, and the boy tried to run again, so Andre punched him. And he had him right there, right where he wanted him, and then Andre had continued his little rant or his speech for what he was giving the boy. And then explained to the boy that he was going to kill him.
Jaslyn lays out what happens to Dwight Grant very matter-of-factly. She doesn't seem to show any emotion or have any remorse for what's happened at this point.
Andre asked for the weapon after explaining to him that he was going to kill the other boy. And I just handed it to him because I was like, I don't know about this, but I'm like, okay, maybe you're joking. And he had taken the weapon and he had pushed the other boy into the corner and he was begging not to get hurt. Andre told me to come here and help him. And I was like, okay. And I'm just holding him. And then Andre proceeds to rapidly punch him. And then after a while, Chrissy said, there's a lot of cars here, there's a lot of people watching, there's kids out, you need to hurry up. So like, Andre, do what you gotta do, just hurry up, bro, we gotta go. Andre is looking at me, and he still has the weapon in his hands. And the other boy, he has the weapon just like waving it, just like trying to not get harmed. And then he had another smaller weapon, and he took that out, and he stabbed him right here.
Where's right here? On the neck, like back side of the neck?
Like side.
On the right side?
Did you the right side?
Jaslyn Smith gives a very accurate description of where the injuries are on Dwight's body.
You had said that the weapon that Andre was using, he used it to stab the boy. I'm assuming it's a knife then that he had?
There is a knife and then there is a longer sword.
A longer what?
Sword.
A sword. So it was a small knife and then the long sword.
There were apparently two weapons at the scene. She does confirm that there was a smaller knife that she knew that Andre used to stab Dwight with.
The boy was just like, you're gonna kill me. Just choke me out or like end it, because he kept going in and out. He's like, choke me out, end it, and Andre stabbed him again.
Jaslyn Smith describes that Dwight Grant begged for them to end his life, to just do it, to kill him already, because he was in so much pain.
He still wasn't like dead, and he was coming in and out. So Andre looked at me and he was like, just hold him. And I held down his one arm and one leg, and Andre had taken the larger sword and stabbed him right through the chest.
Okay.
Jaslyn was very consistent in both of her interviews, which is something that can tell investigators that's what actually happened. She's not making things up. She's not trying to remember a story. She's consistently saying the same thing over and over.
She states that Andre took the sword and he drove it into Dwight's chest. And of course, that eventually leads to Dwight's death. None of this trio showed any mercy, particularly Andre.
Andre was holding him by the mouth and the nose and had a hand over his chest where he had stabbed him, and I was holding his legs.
Okay.
Quieted down, and then he slowly just died.
Law enforcement was able to identify via Amazon purchase records a snake eye tactical weapon set that Andre Clements has purchased. Law enforcement was first made aware of this weapon set because an anonymous teacher submitted a photo of this large black and red knife and 3 smaller dagger-type knives that Andre Clements had taken a picture and sent to another student. So that's how law enforcement knew what type of weapon was a possible murder weapon in this case.
He had told me to get Chrissy and get cleaning supplies. And at this time, we both had not eaten. We both were exhausted. So he's like, push me back here into the bushes and just leave him there. We'll figure out what to do with him at a different time. And I'm just like, okay, because prior to this, he had told me that this was the first person he had ever killed.
On October 23rd, 2021, less than 1 week after Dwight Grant's body was found, Christie Parisien and Jaslyn Smith are arrested for his murder.
When Christie and Jaslyn were picked up, they were transported to the Miramar Police Department. The car was audio and video recorded for that entire transport.
What did they take? Nothing. They took my phone. They took my phone too. We're not going to college. We're not going to go to Miramar. We're not going to Miramar. Let's all just go to the same one and be friends.
I know, right?
We all be cool.
Put us all in the uniforms.
Uniform? They have uniforms?
That place has uniforms, yeah. Got uniforms.
Oh my God, I just got out of uniform.
Jaslyn and Christie start talking about the fact that they are going to go to juvenile detention, that they're going to have to wear uniforms, that they think that they're going to get some sort of a probationary sentence based on their involvement in this.
We got a warrant to take this.
A warrant?
A warrant. I don't know. It's either they're getting the both of us first, or they're getting him, or somebody's getting him, and they're just getting us.
They also talk about, where's Dre? Why hasn't he been picked up? They make comments about, well, if they picked us up with a police car, they're going to send a whole SWAT team after him.
Let's do this, let's do that, he says. Let's do this, let's do that, he says. We listen. Oh my God. You know, there's 2 friends. If he's the one that talked out of the 3 of us, and I find out, and he's not being picked up too?
If he ain't being picked up, I swear.
Law enforcement tried to take Andre Clements into custody the same night they did Jaslyn Smith and Christie Parisien. They were not able to do so. Mr. Clements turned himself in to the Miramar Police Department the next day.
You're gonna go with this gentleman. Hey.
Hang on 1 second. I'm placing you under arrest. You have an active warrant out for your arrest. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you have anything on you that's gonna stick me, poke me, or hurt me? No. Do you have anything on you that you're gonna want to give to mom before you go?
No, sir.
Okay. Good? Yeah. All right. You're gonna go right this way.
Mr. Clements surrenders. He asks to speak to an attorney. He doesn't give a statement at that time. He is taken to a holding cell, and he asks when he will get a psychiatric evaluation.
Now that Christie has officially been arrested and is in custody, investigators need to interview her a second time.
I can tell you that some of the things that you told us on Tuesday, we know for a fact to not be true. Right now, I think the best thing for you to do is to be honest, be upfront.
Let's start on or about the 11th of this month.
You saw the message with me. Yeah. So that Monday, he dropped me off home and he found out that his ex-girlfriend was messing with someone else.
Who's he? Who are you talking about?
I know who I'm talking about. Andre.
Okay.
Andre.
The Andre Clements?
I'm just watching. I'm paranoid. I'm sorry.
I understand. Don't worry.
You want to protect your boyfriend?
I do, but I don't want to go to jail, so.
It kind of puts you in a predicament, right? You're sitting here talking to us because of him, but you want to protect him?
No.
Christie did express some sort of fear and almost paranoia about Andre knowing that she was the one that spoke.
Andre and I were talking about how with the girl I went to high school, and Andre, you guys used to date, and he found out that and Dante had sexual relations with each other, and he got really upset about it, texting her, telling her, so when was this, blah, blah, blah.
How did he find out that had sex with Dwight or Dante?
So, basically, we were talking about it in the car, and he was like, so, I know has hoes and stuff like that, and I was like, yeah, of course you know he hoes. He was like, yeah, I know that Dante's one of those hoes. I'm like, I know that. He's like, blah, blah, blah. Whole conversation.
Was it a rumor? Did you see it on social media?
It was a rumor on the school. And we got in the house and he started talking to her, texting her about it, and he was like, murder is going to happen soon. You know the messages. You read my phone. You read his messages too. You understand. I didn't think he meant like actual murder.
Some of these text messages that occurred prior to the homicide really took away the argument of, oh, I just thought we were gonna beat him up. Because it's very difficult to take a text like murder is going to happen soon as a, well, I didn't mean it like that, especially once somebody is actually murdered.
Fighting him, beating him up or something, a classic high school, boy, I mess with your girl, you mess with my girl type fight thing, but I didn't know it was gonna be like actual murder. Mm-hmm. So, I saw the message, I put, so yeah, I'll help. I didn't think it would be actual murder.
When Christie is downplaying what the plan was for the murder of Dwight Grant, she was doing that to minimize her own involvement as well as to try and protect Andre. Because at the time when everybody is arrested, they're still dating. She is still in love with him from the 5,000 some odd messages they exchanged from just October 1st to October 19th. She is head over heels for Andre.
After that, he was just like, so how are we gonna do this, blah, blah, blah.
Christie actually relates to the police that there was a plan in place. Apparently prompted by Andre, she was told to, in effect, seduce Dwight, compel him to enter the stairwell.
Christie is then going to wait a couple of minutes, and there was some sort of prearranged signal where Andre and Jaslyn would then come down and confront Dwight.
They knock on his door, they go upstairs, Dante and I are on the staircase, start to kiss, hands on boobs, hands on behind, and they come down.
Chrissy was the bait. He sends his own girlfriend out to be bait for this homicide, and then he and Jaslyn come upon them later and attack.
He pulls out the big red and black knife, which you found that by now. The big red and black sword knife thing that he got from Amazon. I didn't know it was going to go to the point of him killing, putting an actual stab device into the boy multiple times.
Did you see who actually stabbed Dante?
Okay. Several times.
Several times?
Several times.
One thing you start to wonder when you're seeing all these interviews is, did Christie have a moment where she thought she could intervene and stop what was happening? And detectives are curious about that too.
At no point did you feel like, maybe I should call 911, maybe I should, do something about this?
At that point, when someone has a knife in their hand and they're stabbing someone else, you don't want to be involved in the other end of the knife. So at that point, it's scary. Like in a frozen time, like, you actually doing this. You're actually stabbing someone.
And even after everything, not only the murder itself, but being arrested and charged for it, Christie doesn't seem to appreciate the seriousness of the situation she's in.
Once we're done with all the paperwork and all that, we're going to take you to, it's a place in Fort Lauderdale. It's called the Juvenile Assessment Center, which is the jail for juveniles.
All right, really.
I don't have the answer for that, right? Because I don't work with them, but I think it's going to be for a little while. Just being honest.
There's no bail or anything.
No, first degree premeditated murder. You understand a life was taken. And you had your hand in that, taking over that. This is not some petty burglary or, stole some candy shop. A life was taken. It's the highest crime you could possibly commit. But we can't talk anymore. So I wish you the very best.
Investigators find even more text messages, this time between 17-year-old Andre Clements and his ex-girlfriend.
Andre's ex-girlfriend. She had brought up the fact that Andre had told her he was going to murder the victim. She had confronted him and said, "You weren't serious about that, were you?" And he just said, "We're not going to talk about that."
With all the suspects now in custody, investigators can now do a more thorough examination of all the communications between the trio.
The text messages were a treasure trove of evidence. They showed that Andre Clements had premeditation more than a week before this crime occurred. He had decided that this was going to happen on the Sunday, and it had to happen before homecoming. He and Christie Parisien went back and forth, coming up with ways to figure out exactly where Dwight Grant lived. Christie Parisien also sent messages indicating that she had a family birthday party that she had to go to, but she was going to do whatever she needed to, fake crying, fake some sort of emergency, to not attend the family birthday party.
While these messages are important digital evidence, investigators still need physical evidence to tie these three suspects to the murder of Dwight Grant.
From the messages, we know there's a missing necklace. Andre Clements and Christie Parisien had matching gold heart necklaces that they wore as part of their relationship. Detectives, they eventually locate the necklace, the charm that was missing from Andre Clements, at the site where the bonfire, the burn site, occurred behind Jaslyn's apartment. The DNA results that come back also show Jaslyn's DNA on part of a rubber latex glove that was found.
Search warrants are executed at both Christie and Jaslyn's homes, and there, investigators find even more evidence.
At Christie Parisien's house, they'd find the boots that Christie was wearing. Subsequent DNA testing of those boots would show that Dwight Grant's blood was found on them. They also find the very distinct orange and pink purse that Christie Parisien brought to the crime scene that contained the items that she was using to help clean up after the homicide occurred.
Between the statements from Christie and Jaslyn, the surveillance footage, the phone data, the DNA evidence, investigators now have a solid theory as to what happened the night Dwight was murdered.
Dwight fought and tried to escape, but was pulled back in. He was held down. He was told he was going to be killed. He was hit. He was stabbed 3 times. He was muffled. The statements from the witnesses that were there, Christie Parisien and Jaslyn Smith, both put the sword in Andre Clements' hands when Dwight was killed.
For the killing of Dwight Grant, all 3 defendants are charged as adults for first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. And it is clear to investigators that Andre Clements is the mastermind.
Andre Clements had the motive based on his statements and his ill will towards Dwight, for Dwight having started dating Andre's ex-girlfriend. While Andre Clements had moved on and was dating someone new, he didn't feel his ex had that same right. Andre Clements orchestrated this entire homicide, the murder of Dwight Grant, because of his jealousy.
You know, this case had all the makings of a big public trial. But in August of 2024, Christie and Jaslyn make an unexpected move.
Christie Parisien and Jaslyn Smith both decided to take pleas. Christie and Jaslyn both pled to the lesser included offense of murder in the 2nd degree, and both were sentenced to 25 years in Florida State Prison.
But Andre Clements still wants to take his chance with the jury.
When Andre Clements is set for trial, we take depositions from both Jaslyn Smith and Christie Parisien in anticipation of trial. We get all of our witnesses lined up. We make sure that we have what we need to prove beyond a reasonable doubt to a jury that Andre Clements committed this crime.
But on the eve of Andre Clements' trial, the prosecution is approached by his attorneys.
Andre's attorneys approached us asking if we would consider a plea. Under the Florida Constitution, victims and their next of kin have important rights, and we take that very seriously. So we met with Miss Emile and Dwight Grant Sr., and from that, they decided they would extend that grace and allow a plea to occur. The plea happened right before we were about to start jury selection. Andre Clements was convicted of murder in the first degree of Dwight Grant.
He knew, by virtue of all of the evidence, digital evidence, the videography, and of course, eyewitness evidence that demonstrates him actually committing the fatal act. That's powerful. It's almost insurmountable. So I'm not surprised at all that he copped a plea here.
At sentencing, Magdalene Emile, the mother of Dwight Grant, gives a heartbreaking victim impact statement.
I would never walk my son down there. He would never come and say anything to me because he's not here, but he's resting in power.
Dwight's mom is one of the sweetest human beings I've ever had the opportunity to meet. She brought everyone in the courtroom to tears. Even the judge was in tears and had to run off the bench.
Couldn't sleep last night, thinking about this case. How the hell could that?
The case was presided over by Judge Ernest Calra. He was absolutely devastated by the impact that this case had on everyone involved. There were so many parents that lost their children. You had Dwight Grant's family, who will never get to see him again, but you also had Christie Parisien's mother, Jaslyn Smith's family, and even Andre Clements' mother, who were losing their children as a result of these actions. The judge expressed how senseless he felt it was.
It's just some petty indiscretion committed in a high school, and somebody decides that the penalty for that is death. The escalation there, it really blows the mind.
Andre Clements was sentenced to 40 years in Florida State Prison, followed by lifetime probation. Justice for Dwight is the most important thing. True justice would be bringing him back, and the court system can't do that. We feel that the sentence that was imposed is a measure of justice for Dwight Grant.
He's gone forever and ever, and all because somebody got jealous.
It's tragic beyond belief. 4 families shattered because of one teenager's jealousy and rage.
Dwight Grant had a wonderful future ahead of him. He had family that loved him, friends that cared deeply. He was looking forward to going to college and pursuing a career. The senseless nature in which he was taken from his family and his friends by Andre Clements, Jaslyn Smith, and Christie Parisien will haunt his family and friends for the rest of their lives.
All right, hold on. You do it. Good morning, Miramar. Is there like a format for this?
No.
We're going to be doing finish the lyric.
Grandma got ran over by a radio.
Yeah, I had to make it easy for you. You don't know that.
Son bien. Call me when you get lost, baby.